+27 12 001 7679. Let your voice be heard. Adventist World Radio, powered by SID Media. From broadcast to baptism.
Yeah, a lot of us were excited about being in matric. I can remember that. It's something that maybe a lot of you remember your final year in high school. But real life is after school, ne? Is officially over. I mean, even varsity has some kind of comfort, don't you think? I don't know. We all aspire to do well. We have dreams and we are ever hopeful that we can achieve them. Education, they tell us, Goskolong, is the key to success. And we have been sermonized as a child that over and over and over again. You just have one job to pass at school. That's it. How can we do this job optimally? And that is why I have with me this morning Mr. Zwe Limkai from Career Moves, which is a company that provides career guidance and psychometric assessments. And they offer these assessments to help people identify their strengths, their interests, and career goals. I swear to you, even some of us adults need to go and visit this company because we are not happy where we are at. Am I right, Zweli? Good morning to you.
Good morning to you and the SID Media family. You are definitely correct.
I know,
you
I hit it.
Yeah, career guidance is not just for children. I mean, a lot of
No.
adults, would like to have a career change, are not satisfied with their jobs, and they might have not have had a goal at the time of, studying, and
Yeah.
might have, come to a realization that, you know what, there are probably other opportunities for me that I would be interested in pursuing.
That's right. When you don't know any better, but you know you need to do something. You know you need to make a living, and you just take whatever your parents say you must take, or whatever was imposed on you by your teachers, whatever your friends are saying you must do, you do. But yeah. It be
Yeah.
like that sometimes. It be like that sometimes. You know, this week, and I know we love focusing on the matrics because they're important. We understand that what you are writing is a make or break kind of time, but there are other people who are also writing exams. And I think this conversation will really encompass whether you are in grade 8 or grade 11, whether you are in matric or you are in varsity. I think this is important. Or you are writing board exams. You're
Yeah.
about to qualify in your particular field. It's important for all of us. We have to study. We know that. And let's talk about the matrics first and foremost because it's a grade, like I said, that we tend to focus a lot on. There's a lot of pressure. Yeah. Is it a problem that we focus mostly on the matrics and it comes across as if we don't care about those in primary school and those who are in other high school grades?
Yeah, so I think why all the focus is on matrics is because it's kind of like the foundation into
Okay.
your life, your real life. But that focus, I do believe, is wrong because every grade matters. And
Matters.
actually, the pressure starts long before grade 12, Final exams happen in every grade, and if young learners do not learn good study habits now, I mean, what are we going to expect when they reach matric and they have
Yeah,
weak foundations? And our schools and families need to spread, support across all the grades by helping with their timetables, providing quiet study spaces, and check-ins, from grade 8 up would even be quite useful. So some practical ideas that I believe schools can use then for all grades is to provide them with short study skills workshops so that, we're including everyone in developing. Have after school revision clubs. Use the study buddy system, between learners, and teachers can help by sharing weekly learning goals. Parents can also help, instead of asking, did you study? They can ask, what is your plan for tonight? And, help children make a short checklist. Then praise their effort, not only their marks. So we really need to build good habits from, any grade below grade 12 to avoid panic in grade 12.
I was thinking of you when you spoke about study habits. I'm thinking of CPF, right? Cram, pass, forget. Oksalayo, the marks, as long as the marks are good, Even if you forget, sometimes guys, it doesn't matter, guys. Okusalayo ngipasile. That's all that matters. Ngipasile. Let's talk about those kinds of habits where mhlambe you are retaining the information in the short term memory and you're going to forget about it. What methods work best? And maybe you can share for which subjects if this is some data that we have access to.
Okay, so cramming everything in one day is a no-no. It's
Mm,
an extreme no-no, but there's ways that we should study effectively. So the key message here is then we should replace cramming with active recall, spacing out our practice and doing past paper practice,
oh.
matched to the subjects that we're doing. So I'm going to break it down in a sort of
Mm,
like a quick guide by subjects. So your mathematics and accounting, we should learn to do problems and not just read the notes. I myself, was a learner who, when it came to maths, I'd just read and feel that, whatever happens, happens. But you need to mark your errors and redo the examples so that you know that you've retained the information and mix the topics. Just learning your addition and forgetting about division is not going to help you either. So have 3 to 4 different type of problems in
uh-huh.
one session. And
Okay.
then in your physical sciences, we can learn the concepts, apply them to problems, explain out loud as if teaching, and keep a small formula sheet so that we can practice these formulas and when to use them. Your life sciences, quite different from these two, in where, you probably need to draw and label diagrams. You can use
Mm.
flashcards for terms, this that big English that they like using there. Test yourself with short answers as well. And you can summarize topics into 5 bullet points from memory and then check yourself.
Mm.
Our languages, your English, your Afrikaans, and so forth. Read, summarize in your own words, build a vocabulary list, practice comprehension daily through reading in general,
In general. Okay. No, we need you back, Zweli. It looks like you've been kicked out for a moment as you were going into the language, explaining how to study English. So far, he's done a great job, right? In mathematics, as we try and get him back. In mathematics, you just need to make sure that you don't just read those notes. You actually do those practices. It can be hard. I know I used to take yo, I swear I am sure that I used to take 2 hours sometimes with just one equation, maybe even more, trying to figure it out because I was just like, yo, hey, maths, guys, yo, stressful. Life science, please do those diagrams. At the end of the day, application is more important. When we say to you guys, you must learn to love to read because you need to know how to read to understand English. That's how he was explaining the vocabulary. Yeah, every day. That thing is important. Zweli, do we have you back? Oh no, I am very, I don't know, but we seem to have lost him a bit, and I'm going to try and see if I can get him back on the line. He seems to be here, but maybe there's something up with our audio. And I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. So guys, if you are a person who was a good student in school, can you share with us maybe your tips on what are the things that worked for you? Maybe you've got some regrets. What are the things that you regret that you thought were, were not a big deal, but clearly they were? Can you share with us what those are on +27734703520? Do you have any regrets in studying? Being a student, being a student comes with a lot of pressure, especially if you are one of those students who's got big dreams. You can't take it for granted. Oh, Zweli, I think we do have you back. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, apologies for that.
It's okay. You were telling us about the comprehension, and then you were matching that with, reading and how that is important.
Yes, yes. So the last take on that was to then don't just read the information. You need to retrieve the information, practice the questions out loud, use a voice note if you can, or that study buddy system, practice
Mm,
the examples, and then space out your learning. You can't do everything in a day,
okay.
in one night.
Yeah, that's very true. Even though sometimes we believe in ourselves, but like you're saying, it's not a good idea. Even if you feel like, yeah, but this system has always worked. I actually do study the day before, the night before, and I pass and I do well. There are people who could make that argument. I can see a teenager saying that to us right now. How do you respond to that?
Uh, Cross nighting is not effective, and cramming is not effective. It feels productive, but it
Mm,
actually like harms our memory. It disturbs our mood, and it affects our exam performance. I like how you keep going back to this short-term memory. The goal and objective of our short-term memory is to turn it into long-term memory. So a lack of
mm,
sleep is gonna block that. You'll definitely remember less the next day, and when you're tired and sloppy, you make careless mistakes and you even tend to read slowly. So you might not even finish what you're doing. So if you
oh,
must study late, yeah,
mm,
do it once, cap it, and still get your 6 to 7 hours of sleep at least, and have a better study routine at night. Have 60 to 90 minutes of light, active recall, doing 2 to 3 past paper questions. We often think we need to read the entire book for us to feel prepared, but when we take things in steps and chunks and focus on what we know best, it
mm.
makes a difference. It makes a difference. Oh, and
Young
and please
people, yeah.
keep your phone away from your bed when it's time to sleep,
Okay,
because you
okay. Tell
might
us why.
think you've been studying the whole night, or you think
Mm,
you've been studying the whole night, and now when you're done, you're probably feeling so fatigued, but your brain can't switch off and you're stressed. So
mm,
instead of picking up the phone and being distracted and losing out on more sleep, have a set time that you're going to sleep, and know that, okay, I'm going to put my phone maybe in the bathroom or somewhere on the
mm,
counter
mm, mm.
in my room, or anything like that, so that
But I need the
uh,
phone to
you
wake
know
me up in the morning. I need the
well,
alarm.
your phone has volume, man. Put the volume up.
Very interesting points that you are raising. Very interesting points that you are raising there. There are matrics right now who go to school. So they're starting to write this week. They go to school and they stay overnight. Are you saying that what they are doing is not effective with this thing of
Yes.
from 6 o'clock in the evening until 6 o'clock in the morning? Then maybe they go home and then they sleep. Are you saying that that is not effective? Are you saying that do it once a week, or are you saying don't ever do that? I'm trying to understand because we see even in varsity there are people who do that. They cross nights a lot.
Yeah, so don't ever do that. Like, try and
Oh,
refrain from that. Yes,
mm,
things can get difficult. You might be stressed, right? But what you're doing when you're cramming, oftentimes, is you're just rereading or you're highlighting, probably because you're ill prepared, right?
okay.
You're skipping the marking guides. You're not even following a plan or structure. And then the most important one, again, that I'd like to emphasize is you're ignoring sleep. So there's no way that you're going to retain all that information that you've done by studying for 12 hours and not having any type of rest. You need to be prepared for the next day. I mean, that's one thing that I did for myself. As much as I might not have known everything, I really, really prepared. So one thing, when it does come to a case where you might feel that, look, I don't have options, I need to cram, you can use a 3 box method. Note the things that you know well, right, in that closed book setting. Have a box where it's the social information that you don't know so well, and have the third box where you don't know anything about this topic. Then you want to study the stuff that you know nothing about first, and then go on to your social box, and then the things that you know well. This can help you then practice that information, retain that information, so that you can be able to you know succeed in the paper.
I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but there are people who they you want to study, but it's like there's a brain freeze and nothing is coming into your mind. How does a person overcome that?
So I think what we need to aim for is high yield learning, and not that like learning and cramming of everything again. So I think maybe I can give you a 1 day rescue plan, on those
Okay.
days just feel like I can't do this. So I want
Mm.
you to sort and prioritize what is important, right? List the 4 to 5 topics that are most likely to appear in your paper based on the syllabus or past papers. I know I did this a lot in varsity because sometimes they just dump chapters on you and the panic begins, you know. And then I want you to have active recall cycles, 30 minutes per topic. Write what you know from memory, check the information that you do know, and then fill in the gaps where you might have made errors, right? And then do those one past papers or sections, time yourself, mark it strictly, and fix those errors. And then also create a 1 page cheat sheet for yourself with your formulas, dates, or definitions, or steps, whatever it may be, and read it before you sleep and again in the morning. And have your sleep. Pack early, be ready in the morning so that you can just review your 1 page cheat sheet so that you feel better prepared. Just avoid rereading the textbook for hours and learning new hard sections first without knowing a plan on how you're going to actually retain this information, or if this is the most important thing for me to know right now. Focus on the marks you can still win today.
Hmm. I'm writing. I'm taking this very seriously. Okay. So I wrote down those steps on how you can, but this list sounds like something comprehensive that can be used any other day besides when you are brain frozen, or is there something else? I know you mentioned past papers a lot. It's not something that I ever thought was really that important, but it sounds like you keep on going there. So I'm thinking, okay, that is important. Is there a different is there a different strategy to when you are not necessarily under extreme pressure that is different to the one that you just gave us now?
So the strategy wouldn't be different because the goal of what we're trying to do is, focus on effective learning, smart and healthy exam prep. But
Mhm.
what I do want to mention is that, with everything that we do, we should have a plan. So when it comes
Mm.
to studying, have a plan, have a simple and realistic plan. From Monday to Thursday, plan out your week. In that way, maybe 2 subjects per afternoon. I mean, even 1 hour each would be enough with practice questions or past paper questions. Friday, have maybe a light review. You might want to break from everything and just fix the errors that you made from what you did during the week. On Saturdays, have 2 hour blocks or 2 hour blocks if you'd like, with breaks in between, and then give yourself the afternoon off. And then Sunday, have one full timed paper or break them down into sections. Be ready for your week so that you feel prepared and ready. So I think having a plan, having a strategy in everything that we do really alleviates the panic and stress, because most of the time when it does come to cramming, it's because we're overwhelmed from the work, and we don't know where to start. But if you had planned what you're going to do beforehand, you would have
Mm.
found that, oh, learning this in chunks becomes so simple, and you can actually identify what you don't know. I don't know if you've ever
Mhm.
read over something and then you've repeated it and you think, okay, you know what, I'm done, I've got it.
I've got
No,
this.
no, that's cramming. That's not learning. You're just cramming, trying your best to memorize information that you're going to forget the following day in any case.
I have this thing where I believe that if you already understand, it's okay to cram that which you understand just in case you forget. Like how you're mentioning whatever strategies, whether it's equations on the cheat sheets, or you come up, like, I'm a theory person, so I would come up
Hmm.
with acronyms, to help me with key words, for
Yeah.
example. And then, like, I talk to myself as if I'm teaching someone to see if I understand, and
Hmm.
then so that I don't forget any, because there are so many concepts, right? Just so that I don't
Yeah.
forget. Then
Yes.
maybe that's the cram part, is the acronyms. It's not like cramming the definition word for word. I mean, sometimes you might, but
Mm.
you understand, and so that still covers for not forgetting, because you do understand. Even if you forgot something, it wouldn't be the end of the world, because for the most part you are still able to kind of seal it nicely. And
Mm.
I want you also to respond to this, Zweli, where there are learners who really, really struggle. I mean, listening to you speaking, it sounds to me like you can't really be a high achiever or even just passing. It does not mean that you have to be like a distinctions child. We don't all have the same abilities. But no learner can do that if they don't have their family support. For you to be able to study effectively all these hours that you're mentioning on a daily basis, you need to have a family that understands that you are a learner, you are a student and you need to study, and they help with chores and they alleviate you of some of the household responsibilities. Otherwise, you're really going to be tired and you won't be able to study effectively, unfortunately. But what message would you have for learners who are struggling, really, really struggling academically? There's a lot of learners in South Africa who are not top tier academically. They struggle. Because like what you were saying, the foundation is not right. Maybe the reading and writing skills are so poor, but this child is matric, but they don't really understand most of the time when they're reading English home language because they never grasped reading, number one. Number two, English is so hard for them. And if English is hard, you can imagine even if they did other subjects like history or business, that's still a lot of language in those papers. So it's still like school is hell. Maybe they're not in matric, maybe they're in grade 10, grade 9. They want to go to the next grade like everyone else. But it's not necessarily a good idea for them to go to the next grade. And I'm not saying that if they stay in the same grade, they will improve, because there are other strategies that would need to be used to help that person improve. Like you need private tutors, because maybe your child, we need to teach them like we are teaching a grade 4 learner, because they've missed so much within the education field over the years. Do you have a message for such a learner and his or her parents, perhaps?
Yes. So there's many kinds of ways to learn. It's not just writing. There's visual learning, there's using audio and verbal learning, and we have then our notes and key cards, and using systems like the acronyms that you mentioned now, and studying with others also helps. We can also use real life connections to the work that we're learning. Like, let's say it's economics. Think about how your community works with money or jobs. This will help you understand and not just memorize. And when it comes to our family support and how our family or our teachers can help us, it's quite simple. Create the right environment for the child to be able to learn. Help them with their routine. Make sure that their study space is quiet and tidy. And then, I mean, if they're really struggling, you can even help them prepare their resources. Make sure that, they have the right textbooks. Do they have the past papers? These things are online nowadays. We can search for information online as a parent. There's a lot of articles and resources we can use online. Communicate positively to these students. Encourage their effort. Just them taking that step to sit down and say that, I want to get this right is a big step. So don't always focus on the marks, but say, I'm proud of you and how hard you try, instead of you must get an A. Check in with them, ask how you're feeling about tomorrow's tests, and then avoid comparison. Remember, every learner studies differently. Comparing them just increases their stress. And then, of course, when you do focus on healthy habits like your regular meals, your sleep, your exercise, or hydration, this then allows you to, rest with the memory that is stored, boosts your energy as well for the following day and focus. And the last thing I think we can also help with is to be emotionally supportive. So if you're stressed as a parent or a teacher, don't transfer your anxiety to the child, right? Your calmness will help them reassure themselves as well,
Nice.
and offer them breaks in between their work. If you see that your child is working really hard, as much as they're failing or they haven't done well, help them find time to rest as well. Watch a short show, go for a walk, or share a snack with them and talk with them. Listen also if they need to vent, and you can even help them with their study table.
Very nice. I like that. Please share how people can get a hold of you for psychometric tests and for maybe other study tips that you can offer.
Okay, so my name is Zweli Mkai. I am a psychometrist. My website is www.careermoves, that's moves with a Z at the end, .co.za. My contact number is 072 463 7416. And if you need to email me, it's info@careermoves.co.za. We are based in Pretoria or online, and we've recently expanded to the Eastern Cape, where, funny enough, you have that challenge with language. A lot of these kids are struggling, Millie. They are
Mm,
struggling, but our assessments allow us to provide a comprehensive, detailed, outlook and sort of like overview of your child that can assist either in placing them in the right school or
mm,
assist by showing teachers and parents how they can effectively, help this child improve with areas where they are experiencing developmental challenges as well. So I think the work that we do is fantastic. It's amazing. I've
mm,
seen kids go on. I bumped into one child that I assessed when he was in grade 8. He's now an adult. I bumped into him at the airport and he was thankful. And to me, it was like, I thought I was doing this for your parents, but this was actually for you. And to see you, smiling and getting somewhere in life brings so much joy to Career Moves. And, it is our purpose to help this country
yeah.
develop our learners so that everyone can experience a taste of success in their lives.
Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much, Zweli. And I'm sure people will reach out. I know I want to speak more with you about the work that you do, and I can't wait to find out more information so that we can help as many people as we can, like you are saying. Continue doing the best in your work as a psychologist. We really do appreciate you accepting our invitation this morning. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, thank you. Can I just close now? I want everyone to study smart, not just hard. Use your active recall, space your practice, sleep well, and learn the language used in the exams from the past papers. You've got this.
You've
Relax.
got
You've got
this. You've got
crazy.
this. Nice. And all the best to those of you who will be sitting for your 2025 paper. Thank you, Zweli.
Bye.
You are listening to